Haha. Huh. I need a haircut. These sideburns are kind of distracting. Look at this. This is what's gone through my mind for the last few days. For the last few days, this has been drilled in my head. Not like that, relax. Marvel. Since you're not watching this video, and no matter what I say here, you're probably gonna do not even 10% of the things I'm gonna say here, but you know what? I'm just gonna throw it out there because this is a topic of discussion, so y'all can come up with better ideas than me. I don't know. This is just me yapping of all the stuff I want to get out. That will probably 99% of the stuff will not happen. But you know what? Let's start with the obvious. Allow me to elaborate. Listen, I know y'all probably have better options, but I don't care. This is my headcanon. Will it happen? No. But will it be awesome if it did? Yes! I know, back in the day, y'all wanted her as Gwen, or Spider-Gwen. I kind of didn't see it, kind of. It was weird. And then what if she's Black Cat? You know what it is? It's her facial expressions, okay? Her facial expressions are easily capture both the suave and the insanity crash out that is Felicia Hardy. Because, I'm sorry, my hair is distracting. I don't even care if you tolerate it. I need to change it. I don't even care if you say it's not that bad. No, it's her mannerisms. It's her charisma. It's like she looks like she either wants to rob you, deceive you, or murder you. Yellow flag, red flag kind of crash out. So now here's the thing. From what I hear, the 90s verse show, it's a template for a lot of the stuff in Hollywood for Spider-Man. So what I'm thinking is, what if Felicia Hardy goes to school with Peter? It'd be very funny. And we'll have this thing where we'll do the canon thing where she is not fond of Peter, but she's very fond of Spider-Man. Because it'd be funny, you see. She'll probably interact with Flash, and Flash will try to hit on her, and then she'll be like, no. And I only say this because I want like a jokey kind of reference to the 90s. What the hell? Will it happen? No, but I'm just throwing it out there on the ether, alright? I know y'all be like, Anna Taylor-Joy, or Sydney Sweetie. And here's the thing, Sydney Sweetie is kind of like, is she only candidate because she's she's popular enough and built like the character, I guess? I don't know, just something about Sabrina just really, she captures the charisma, alright? And here's the thing, in terms of her suit, I don't want it to be like the canon reveal thing. We don't need that. I want it to be like the PlayStation suit. Now, what's her plot? Because there are two ways you can do it. She is not a burglar. She's just a superhero. She's just trying to be like Spider-Man, and she just happens to find him. Or she'll do the canon route where she's either robbing. Now, I feel like knowing Marvel, I don't really think she's going to rob for the sake of robbing. I feel like she's just robbing to piss someone off. Which brings the Kingpin in. Now, here's the thing. I don't really want to talk much of Spider-Man 4 because I want to talk much about Spider-Man. I'm talking more about Spider-Man 5 and 6. And that's really it. Best case scenario, we'll have Kingpin in the sidelines for the movies. Because we're going to get a lot of Kingpin anyway, with 2 seasons of Daredevil and then Spider-Man 4. Well, best case scenario, if they don't do the multiverse thing, then they don't do the multiverse movie and focus on street level, then yeah, we're going to get a lot of Kingpin. So they're probably going to want to dial it back after. So if they don't want to add Kingpin in for the symbiote arc, then we might have Felicia just join the gang. Whatever, you can do whatever you want. You can either take the burglar route, you can take a burglar, but I'm taking revenge on my father, I want to take everything from you, rich people kind of thing. Or you just take the pure superhero route, just want to be like Spider-Man, that's it. You can do one of the 3. Now, I feel like for Spider-Man 5 and 6, Spider-Man 4, I don't know how much to theorize because they're already kind of done with the story. They're just going to actually start production. At the time of this recording, they're going to start production this summer. Funny enough, coincidentally, they're filming Daredevil Season 2 right now. And after this, coincidentally, Spider-Man 4 is about to start filming. Let's move on to the next big thing, which is something that I want so badly, but I know none of you are going to agree with me. Never saw him, never kissed. Whoever's typing in the comments right now will probably have like a million better choices for Hobgoblin. And secondly, be like, what about Ned Leeds? Norman Osborn showed up randomly from the multiverse, alright? We don't even need Green Goblin in this universe. We could just have Hobgoblin. Roger Kingsley. I don't know if I pronounced the name right, but the first Hobgoblin. 1. Ned Leeds, for whatever reason, plot happens, Ned Leeds will be framed as the Hobgoblin. Maybe it's not like, oh, we're solving this case to find who is a Hobgoblin, or we're solving this case to prove that Ned Leeds is innocent and Roger Kingsley isn't. And I feel like it makes sense because Peter Parker in the symbiote suit, there's a lot of reasons why he'd be mad. And he would crash out with the symbiote, enhancing his anger. 1, it's a goblin, PTSD. And 2, Ned Leeds is in trouble. So yeah, it works perfectly. And I feel like, before we go into the casting, or my dream casting, which I know it won't ever happen, but I'm just throwing it out there, we're going to put Jean DeWolf here. Because I feel like I kind of want Elizabeth Winstead to be in the Marvel Universe, and I feel like, for me, I prefer either any villain at all, because it'd be funny, or she'll be a Spider-Man side character. And I feel like the first person I think of in my head was Jean DeWolf. She just gives me the Jean DeWolf vibe. I don't know why. Look, if she can randomly, I'm surprised at the fact that she played Huntress of all people in DC. She'll just play Jean DeWolf. I don't really care. And it'd be really fun. And we don't have to have the whole Jean-like Spider-Man thing, like in canon, because Peter's already dealing with Felicia and MJ, so it's fine. She'll be like the Commissioner Gordon for him for like a movie, and that's it. This is gonna be like symbiote / detective movie. Whether you want, how do you handle the mystery of the Hobgoblin or whatever. But now, the elephant in the room. Hayden Christensen as Hobgoblin. I'm sorry. This is a me thing. Okay? This will never happen. This will never happen. I know this. And I know y'all will come up with a million other actors better than my choice. But I just don't want Hayden Christensen and Tom Holland fighting each other. I don't know why. I just want to see that. You know why? Because Hayden was the first person I thought of when I think of Hobgoblin. He can't play a psychopathic villain. Here's the thing. First of all, Hobgoblin is not... Sure, he's a psycho by being a goblin at all. But, like, he's not like Norman Osborn. Norman Osborn is just a guy, a rich guy who just got crazy. Got doused in chemicals and all that. Hobgoblin is just like Green Goblin, but without the craziness. Like, he is crazy, but he's not like the Joker. Or he's not like, he's just more analytical. You know, he has more weapons than just a glider. He has a van and all that. So he can do a lot more. And I feel like Hayden Christensen himself, we've seen shades of what he can be. Like, either he's a selfish, a creep, or something like that, or weird. We don't know. We've seen that before. I don't want to see Tom Holland and Hayden Christensen fighting. I just want to see that. I do not know why. But it'd be very fun. Again, Hayden Christensen doesn't have to be like a Joker, Green Goblin psychopathic. He just gotta be like a villain. And that's it. He's a villain. I'm sorry. I know y'all would not, y'all would dislike it. I just want to see him don the Hobgoblin outfit. Alright? No, Ned Leeds will not be a goblin, an evil goblin. He will not be a symbiote or whatever. He's not going to be a villain because Ned Leeds has always been such a chill guy that I feel like there's no reason to turn him into a villain. Unless if it's against his will. But, like, he's not going to, like, have a dark turn or anything, so it'd be kind of weird. The Death of Jean DeWolf story, which is the story that she's mainly known for, funny enough, the story is about solving the death of Jean DeWolf and who murdered her. This movies are basically the mysteries that would lead to the death of Jean DeWolf. Here's the thing, I don't know who's going to die in 4, 5, and 6, alright? Because I feel like there's going to be some deaths that's going to happen in my pitch. So, alright, just to go back to the relationship between Peter and women. I could convince my fear doesn't see that maybe it doesn't exist. Between Peter and MJ, because, you know, Tom Dea is fully secured back now. Either they are friends, they start to become friends, or two, they just start going out again. And it's not like Peter told her, best case scenario, he doesn't tell her anything. He just be like, he's starting over. And that's it. They're just starting over, hanging out. That's what's going to happen because, you know, Tom Dea. They're going to have a lot of influence in this movie because of their cloud. So it's like, but here's the thing. The reason why the Spider-Man Black Cat chemistry is mainly gravitating is not because Peter accepts her. It's because she wants him, but he doesn't. Like, he's tempted, but and that's not. So in the movie, he doesn't have to be like, they can have good chemistry, but he doesn't have to follow her back. You know? She could just go all out for him, but he's just responding, but he's not going to, like, he's not going to pursue anything. He's going to be like, okay, whatever. That's it. I'm focused on this. It's pretty funny that Peter immediately recognizes, like, he'll meet Blackhead first, and then he sees Felicia and be like, wait a minute. In school, he'll be like, wait a minute. Who are you? Kingpin, as much as it'd be fun to see Kingpin and Symbiote Spider-Man fight, we're already going to get Kingpin Spider-Man fight. Best case scenario, if we do the street level movie. I feel like for the 5th movie, it will be the most Spider-Man-y movie that doesn't involve multiverse. Because, like, it's basically no other superhero or supervillain shows up that isn't a Spider-Man villain or Spider-Man character. It's just Spider-Man and the gang, and that's it. That's mainly it. Spider-Man 4 is going to be street level. Spider-Man 6 is going to have more heroes, which I'll get to later. And let's actually focus on Zendaya. Now, here's the thing. I could do a whole video on how Marvel or any company that handles Spider-Man, that has MJ, doesn't like to do MJ justice for whatever reason. I don't understand that, and I don't get it. And it's not that all the other versions are bad. It's more like they don't like to do MJ at all. It's like they went from taking a couple notes to, like, just using her name. And because it's Zendaya, she's gonna probably would want to be a bigger role instead of just being, I'm MJ, I'm Spider-Man's girl. At least, especially if we're getting Zendaya of all people with her influence, we're gonna need more. And I feel like if the only way to make it work is if you have something we've never seen in non-comic book form before, is MJ's baggage, which is her origin story. Now, in the movies, in the MCU, we found out that she changed names, or she doesn't go by names, or she lives with a family or something. It's like, maybe you can retcon it being like, the reason why I closed off more was because of my traumatic past, which, if you read the issues, then you find out why it's like, oh wow. So it's like, oh yeah, MJ has baggage. And Marvel never talks about it? Yeah, the comics, whatever, because they never cared about her. Because she used to be extroverted, but now she's closed off because of her trauma. and so she became a completely different person. And in one of the movies, she'll have a side plot of like trying to deal with her family. And before you're like, well, we're gonna ignore that because we don't care. We're gonna watch a Spider-Man movie. You'll care enough. You'll care enough, and it will give MJ an actual baggage than just being Spider-Man's life. Because again, there's a reason why MJ and Peter, people like them together, and not just because they sleep with each other all the time in the 90s, but it's also because parallel lives really captured this perfectly, which I want this to be adapted in any form of media. If we're gonna get Zendaya secure, then we might as well do this. I'm just throwing this idea for Zendaya or MJ, and in case they want to do something with her. Yeah, Venom. I have no idea who I'm gonna cast. What's my dream cast? But despite my silly casting for Sabrina Carpenter, Elizabeth Winstead, Hayden Christensen, I got nobody. I got nobody for Eddie Brock. If we do Eddie Brock, because knowing Marvel, they're probably just gonna do the video game route. Be like, oh yeah, we're just gonna pick someone else. And before you're like, what about Harry? What about Timothy Chalamet as Harry Osborn? Here's the thing. There are ways they can bring him in. It's just that he's kind of pointless compared to everything. Also, if we do bring the Osborns in, I feel like Peter would not trust him immediately. And I feel like back in the day, I had this theory where, like, if they do bring the Osborns in, it will be like the Spectacular Spider-Man thing, where he would troll them into thinking they're not the Goblin, but it turns out Harry's the Goblin, but then Norma's the Goblin, and then all that stuff. Spider-Man 5 is just going to be like Hobgoblin. That's like a fun idea, a fun suspense thing, where you'll be like, who's going to die? Ned Leeds because he died in Spider-Man vs. Wolverine, or Jean DeWolf because you know the death of Jean DeWolf. Who will die? So, like, we don't know who's going to die, so that's a good suspense arc. We don't need to keep Black Cat around for an entire saga, because obviously Sabrina Carpenter is a very busy person. I love how I'm acting like they're actually going to cast her in the movie, but they're not. 5 and 6 is mainly going to have her, but aside from that, we don't need to bring her in more. Like, especially what happens in Spider-Man 6, which is basically Venom shows up, and whoever Venom is, whether it's Kingpin, or whether it's like Harry, or whether it's whoever, I feel like if you want Eddie Brock, I don't know, you might not need Eddie Brock. I don't know who's in that cast. I have this idea, and I feel like it's kind of controversial, whereas Peter Parker will pull a Spider-Man vs. Wolverine and punches someone so hard by accident and kills someone. And there are many reasons why I want those to happen. Number one, it will drive the symbiote off of him. It will give him a motivation to get the symbiote off. 2, we will have a Daredevil cameo where we reverse Chip Zdarsky's Volume 1 role, and we'll give Daredevil to Spider-Man. I killed someone by accident, and you will get over it eventually, or you need to take a break off of this, like, kind of conversation, which will lead to him visiting or encountering the Fantastic Four. And the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man will finally have a, not movie together, but they'll be in the same movie that isn't Avengers movie together. Because I feel like Spider-Man has a lot of key relationship with all these characters. And aside from Wolverine, the only people that he needs to get with, aside from Daredevil, the Fantastic Four are his most important superhero friendship. Let alone Peter and Johnny, because they had a whole history together. So they were roommates. So I feel like there's so much you could do with just anything between those 5. And you can use, like, oh, the symbiote is given to them, and they'll keep it. Fantastic Four and Spider-Man, and his Red and Blues, and Black Hat, and maybe Daredevil if you want, will team up against Venom. And then Venom and Spider-Man will have a knockout drag-out fight. Now, I think when I mentioned earlier about the whole Spider-Man, sorry if I'm all over the place, but Spider-Man will beat someone by accident. I don't want that to happen, but it will also be very cool because of everything what I just said about the whole Daredevil thing. But also, it will give Spider-Man to stop being Spider-Man. It'll be like, okay, I'm going to quit being Spider-Man for a while. Or at all. I think forever. And then in the 6th movie, he'll find his strength, with inner strength, to go back to being Spider-Man in the Red and Blues. He'll fight Venom. And that's how he gets his groove back. If he kills Jean DeWolf or Ned Leeds, I don't know. I don't think so. Actually, maybe Jean DeWolf would make sense, because then we'll kill off Ned Leeds in the 6th movie. Or maybe not. Or maybe we'll just pull like a Harry Potter and all 3 of them will just look up at the sunset together. A very interesting homage or callback to the comics when they first met. Like, Felicia didn't find out Peter was married until, like, Venom showed up and told her. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna beat you to it. I was like, I don't know where he is. And I'm like, what? I don't know whether it's in the middle of the movie or the final battle, but he beats her so hard she's in a coma or something. I don't know. Black Cat, Spider-Man, and Fantastic Four teaming up. So it's like, yeah, it's come on. Come on. Who wouldn't want to see that? It'd be fun. I don't know who will take. You all guess better than me. This is all the ideas I have right now. I'll probably come up with more later, but I just want to see Tom Holland, Zendaya, Jacob, Sabrina, Hayden, Fantastic Four, Jean DeWolf, Daredevil. I just want to see everybody in the same... I'm sorry. I'm the nerd. I'm sorry. Okay? And here's the thing. I know 99% of the stuff of what I said will not happen. Because if Marvel sees the theory video, they're not going to do 99% of the stuff they do. Because, you know, they want to subvert expectations. So it's like, I get it. So, but I give you many options. Like, Black, it could be this or that. Or Peter Parker doesn't need to murder someone because, they're afraid it'll be too dark. So they're not going to do that. I don't know. It really just depends. If Peter Parker's going to work for the Daily Bugle, he's going to be like a vlogger. Because it will actually pay off his entire vlogging thing in the first trilogy. So it will make perfect sense. I don't know how that's going to work. Again, I don't know how Spider-Man 4 is going to play out. I'm just going off for what I think could happen. Best and worst case scenario with 5 and 6. So I'm just pitching 5 and 6. I'm just picturing scenes right now. Just Hayden Christensen being the tar out of Tom Holland. I'm just a nerd. Hey, look, if we get Harrison Ford randomly to play Thunderbolt Ross, even though he's grumpy, but not angry enough to play Thunderbolt Ross, you could definitely bring Hayden Christensen. Also, Hayden Christensen will probably be looking forward for that role because he'd be like, oh, a big role in a big universe that isn't Star Wars? Wow. So just him, Hayden, Sabrina, and Tom. Come on! Alright, I have a crazy idea. Alright. What if you do Kraven's Last Hunt? The most famous scene when, in the black suit, gets out, and from the grave, the Kraven the Hunter, puts him under the grave. How about instead the Hobgoblin does it? He just buries him alive, just to torture him. And him not knowing the black suit's game like that, the black suit would have enough strength to crash out of the coffin. And so yeah,
Mary Jane goes to her apartment. Venom is sitting in the corner, just breathing heavily. Peter, what are you doing? And then she turns the light on and it's Venom. And he says, hi, honey, I'm home. More importantly, he looks like Spider-Man initially.
Right.
His mouth grows onto his mask, scaring the bejesus out of Mary Jane. Almost like that's the first time the Venom had a mouth, was to smile at Mary Jane.
Drive you home, you drive me crazy.
I forgot a big important thing. Miles Kilometer Morales. From what I hear, Miles Morales is probably going to show up in the MCU after Beyond the Spider-Verse, so yeah. But my recommendation is that he can make cameos or make at least appearances. Like his role is basically going to be the Insomniac games for the 5th and 6th movie. And then maybe when the 6th movie happens, he can train Miles Morales. Either throughout the movie or by the end of the movie, he'll start training him. I don't know. That's my recommendation for Miles Morales. So if they want to bring him in finally, yeah. So we have Black Cat, Miles Morales, Spider-Man, the Fantastic Four. Yeah, it'd be fun. All right, I'm just saying. But I feel like for the 6th movie, we can have a side plot of Prowler with Miles and stuff. I don't know. I think after the 6th movie, I think that should be the end of at least Peter Parker's main role. And then after that, then you can focus on Miles. Then Miles and then Prowler and then all that other stuff. You can do that. So that's fine. So that's my recommendation. But hey, it is what it is. They're probably never going to do what I'm said, but whatever. And in conclusion, Sabrina's Felicia right now.